They said Rome was built on reason, on law, on strength. But beneath the polished marble, under the grand temples, something much older waited. Something not born of gods or men. Something forgotten. The Vestal Virgins. They weren't just guardians of the sacred flame. They were its prisoners, its servants. And when that flame was allowed to change, Rome itself began to die. Welcome to Bloody Chapter. If you enjoy horror stories torn from the pages of real history and the dark truths buried by time, make sure you like this video and subscribe. You really don't want to miss what is coming next. Our story begins during the rule of Emperor Aurelius Caelus. He was young, just 15 years old when he took the throne. Raised in an environment of constant fear, he became obsessed with absolute control. He dreamed of rebuilding Rome entirely in his own image. In his mind, the old gods were dead, their power nothing but a myth. So, he ordered an end to their worship. Temples were bolted shut. Sacred texts were gathered and thrown into bonfires. Priests who resisted were either imprisoned or executed. The people of Rome watched in a stunned silence, too afraid to speak out. Even the ancient and revered Temple of Vesta was shut down. The Vestal Virgins, the women who had kept its sacred flame alive for hundreds of years, did not protest. They left their post quietly. They bowed their heads, and then they simply vanished. Rome celebrated. A new era of logic and reason had begun, or so they thought. They believed they had finally defeated superstition. But that very night, in the deserted temple, the sacred flame flickered. Just once. It was a small, almost imperceptible shift, and across the sprawling city, a tide of rats unseen for years returned from the sewers. The first death came the next day. Praetor Severian, a powerful and respected official, was found in the public baths. His body had been skinned. His eyes were gouged out, and his mouth was sewn shut with gleaming gold thread. The message was clear. Then, Livia Galliana, the emperor's own aunt, was seen in the forum, whispering to voices no one else could hear. Moments later, she plunged a dagger through her own heart. Before she died, she managed to speak one sentence. The flame has turned. A wave of fear washed over the city. Flocks of birds fell dead from the sky. Fresh milk turned black in its clay pots. Marble statues of heroes and gods cracked and crumbled without warning. And in the ruins of the old temples, some people swore they heard weeping. Others heard a faint, chilling laughter carried on the wind. The terrified young emperor sent his augurs to read the omens, to make sense of the growing chaos. But the omens failed. The animals they sacrificed for divination decayed instantly in their hands. Their sacred tools shattered. One augur began screaming and never stopped. He babbled that he saw something moving inside the fire, something with eyes. At night, strange figures were seen slipping into the abandoned temple of Vesta. They wore the white robes of the Vestals. They carried small clay jars. No one dared to follow them. The emperor, growing desperate, sent a detachment of his personal guard to investigate. 20 elite soldiers marched into the temple. Only one came back, blind, his body covered in horrific burns, and carved into his skin were words, not in Latin, but in a language no one recognized. The translation was a prophecy of doom. The pact is broken. The flame chooses now. Then, the city itself began to change. Children were born without voices, their mouths open in silent screams. People started to disappear from rooms that were locked and bolted from the inside. The Tiber River, the lifeblood of Rome, ran a deep, sickening red for 3 whole days. The emperor barricaded himself inside his palace. He frantically searched through old texts, banned books, and hidden scrolls, anything that might offer an explanation. And in a dusty, forgotten tome, he found the terrible truth. The sacred flame of Vesta was not just a symbol. It was alive. The Vestal Virgins hadn't been worshipping it. They had been feeding it with blood, with silence, with their own memories. The flame was a cage, a prison, keeping something trapped deep beneath the city. Something ancient and unspeakable. older than Rome itself. And now, it was waking up. On the seventh night after the temple was closed, the sun did not rise. The sky remained a solid, starless black. A supernatural cold fell over the city. Lamps refused to burn. Fires would not light. From the temple of Vesta, a column of smoke rose into the blackened sky. It was thick, dark, and seemed to move with a life of its own, heavy and suffocating. Then, the ground cracked open. The earth itself split apart, and from that fissure, something climbed out. No one who saw it could ever describe it coherently. Its form was always changing. One moment, it had the face of a man. The next, a snarling beast. Then, a crying child. Then, a woman with no eyes. It wore a crown made of human ribs. It whispered in 1,000 voices at once, all speaking at the same time. Some people heard it whisper their name, a personal invitation to oblivion. Others just collapsed to the ground, their lives extinguished in an instant. Emperor Aurelius Caelus disappeared that night. His golden throne was found empty the next morning. Draped across it was a single white veil, a vestal veil stained with blood. The next day, the sun finally returned. But everything was different. The flame in the temple of Vesta still burned, but it was not the warm, comforting light it once was. It was a cold, black, silent fire. No one ever went near it again. The ruins were forever abandoned, and every seventh night, without fail, someone in Rome would vanish. Not just disappear, but be erased completely from all memory. It was as if they had never been born. Their homes would be empty. Their families would have no recollection of them. Their names would fade from every record. Rome survived. Of course, the empire continued, but something deep within its soul had changed. Something was broken. Something final. So, if you ever feel like you're being watched in the dark, if you ever see a flame that casts no shadow, remember this story. Some fires were never meant to warm us. They were meant only to remind us of what waits below. If you felt the chill of this tale, like this video, and subscribe to Bloody Chapter. We tell the stories that history tried to bury. We show you the truths hidden behind the ruins. Until the next chapter, stay close to the light.